This episode of Asian Not Asian is brought to you by the Quarter Pounder with Cheese from McDonald's. It's a QPC time. Asian friends, you know we love McDonald's. Maybe you went after piano class or Kumon, or maybe you had to sneak it after school. Either way, get the burger napkins were made for. Some call it messy, others call it flavorful. Typically, we try to watch our table manners around family and friends, but with the QPC, table manners can wait. Prime deliciousness can't. It's got 100% fresh beef, 2 slices of melted cheese. It's cooked when you order with crunchy pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard. Order the QPC. Yum!
And I was saying, I feel like sometimes it hurts me being a funny person because, like, as a woman, like it doesn't benefit me in the same way that it does benefit a man. Welcome, everybody. Asian, not Asian.
Yeah.
A podcast where 2 Asian American human beings discuss any freaking thing that they want. I'm Jenny Arimoto.
And I'm Mike Nguyen.
And I was tasked with kind of introing the podcast, and I fully improvised every second of that with energy that was probably overwhelming for the listeners.
Oh, man, I love this. This is giving me FM vibes right now.
I know. I don't know why immediately I went for like old school radio DJ jock vibes, but that's who I am.
I like that because if I went old school, I would have sounded like, you know, the old timey radio. Like I'm talking about like
even older.
World War One. Hello there.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, like the Mid-Atlantic. I don't like that.
Can you believe it? These dames out here, they're wearing skirts. That's what I would sound like. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that. This is the Asian Not Asian podcast, and it is a quiet day in New York City. Very quiet.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Very, very quiet in this market. Kind of no one's staring at us.
No one's here. There's a couple of like extremely blonde white families walking by. Hello.
Confused by the idea of 3 Asian people wearing my
She knew that I was talking about
talking
it.
in here.
And otherwise, it's very chill. I think I have a suspicion that we may be the last people in New York City.
It does feel like a zombie apocalypse.
Because it does feel like that.
Yeah.
But except it's a zombie apocalypse where everybody has a house upstate in New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
Upstate, yeah.
The most comfortable apocalypse.
It's like, oh no, there's zombies. Better get in the Subaru and drive away. That's what I think has happened. Jenny is right. This is a podcast where Asian people just do whatever the fuck we want. Very, very quickly, up top, I want to remind everyone that if you're listening to this podcast, you know what? Hit subscribe. Give us 5 stars if you're listening to us on the Apple Podcast app.
Please.
Leave us a review. You know, let us know. Did you escape the zombie apocalypse with a nice fixer-upper 2-bedroom? You know, we want to know if that's what happened to you. And if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe. You know, hit the little bell so you always know when the latest videos are. And if you're on Spotify, you know what? You can also hit subscribe for that as well. Should we do Patreon very quickly?
Absolutely.
Patreon is, if for people who don't know, is the best way to support the podcast. If you go to patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod, you can become a patron of the podcast, and we use the money for fabulous things like ham and cheese croissants, but also a lot of like, you know, stuff like equipment and all the upkeep of the podcast.
I will say people were excited about the possibility of going to Red Lobster.
Okay, that's happening. That is happening.
Okay.
So
that's me pushing my agenda.
Because
I want to go to Red Lobster.
That is a great agenda. For people who may have missed, who were we talking? Oh, we were talking to Stephen Ho, TikTok extraordinaire, and he was we got into the whole thing. You know, Asian people love Red Lobster. You know, Asian people love chains. Olive Garden, Red Robin. You love Red Robin?
I love Red Robin. I really do. Their French fries are so good.
You know what's crazy? You know there are 2 Red Robins in Manhattan.
What?
2.
I didn't even know there were Red Robins like anywhere in New York. That rules.
I remember once I was like, hey, I'll meet you at Red Robin to my other friend, and he's like, okay, cool. And we go, you know, it's like 7:00, and I'm like, hey, I'm at the Red Robin, and he's like, I'm at the other Red Robin. which is like nearby. They're like 10 blocks away from each other.
Oh my God.
It's wild.
You can do a bang bang, but it's just 2 Red Robins back to
Oh
back.
shit! We're pivoting the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, we're switching it out, and now it's Mukbang Chicken Tenders podcast. But yes, you can support the show, and we will do fun stuff like that. And one of the other fun things we do is we give you a shout out on the podcast, and we try to guess your ethnicity. We have a 100% success rate. Mm-hmm. And we've got a couple, and just know if you're becoming a Patreon, just give it a second, because we're kind of going through them all, and we're recording some things out of order, but we will get to you. So how about let's start with here, Steve Wong.
Chinese.
Got it. That's a pretty good. That's almost like a warm-up one.
Steve Wong.
Steve Wong.
Yeah. I can go into more detail.
Let's do it. I think
Steve Wong is in his late 40s.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And he's he is a CPA.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Seems like, does he have family?
Fun. He's like a really fun CPA.
Oh, a fun CPA.
Yeah. I think I'm just talking about my dad.
Is your dad a fun CPA?
My dad's a fun CPA.
What does he do that's fun?
And his name is Steve Wong. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks, Dad.
Is by fun CPA, do you mean like his calculator is real, like is like a Hello Kitty calculator?
Oh, he's like a jokey guy. Oh. Like everyone loves him. I always they remember my dad more than me. They're like, oh, I love that Randy. And I'm like,
oh, his name's Randy?
Yeah, his name's Randy.
That's fucking awesome. Oh, that's true integration into American society. When you're named Randy. That's beautiful.
Full assimilation completed.
I love it. Let's do, that was a good one. Shouts to Steve Wong. And here's the next one. Peppermint Livingston. That is not a real name.
I'm obsessed with that name.
That is not. That is an OnlyFans name.
I would name my cat that. Peppermint Livingston, and it would be full name only.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You always go, stop, Peppermint Livingston.
Peppermint Livingston. Where you know your man? Have you forgotten your manners, Peppermint Livingston? Oh my!
What do you think?
That's a good one. This is definitely. I think yes. It's our first cat Asian American.
A cat?
Cat Asian American cat.
Oh my God, this is a big moment, breaking the glass ceiling.
Who's using her little paws to subscribe to Patreon? You know.
Oh my God, thank you, Peppermint.
Thank you, Peppermint Livingston. Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, once again, if you want to get in on this, it's patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod, and we we'll try to guess your ethnicity / species, since you could also be a cat, and we will try to guess that as well. I want to introduce our guest, because you know what? He completes us.
He does. He really does. It feels right when it's the three of us. It really does.
It feels so good. It feels whole. I feel whole.
Yeah, we can finally feel whole.
But I mean whole with an H.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel he's done so many things. I don't even know exactly how to bring him on, because I feel he's been so busy. But at the very least, he is a great friend of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Give it up right now for Dylan Adler.
Oh my God,
Dylan!
It's so good to be here. I will say, it feels right. It feels HOLE.
Yeah.
It feels good to be with the Asian Prom Committee.
It does.
That's right, Asian Prom Committee.
Yeah.
What was for people who don't know, what is the Asian Prom Committee? Who wants to take a
It's
stab?
we are all the seniors at Orange County, some Irvine High School, and we organized for all New York artists, comedians, Asians that we knew to come together in a place in Brooklyn and take over the space for a night, dance. It was fun.
Yeah. That was wonderful.
So fun.
It was so fun.
Truly highlight of my year so far.
It was really good.
I flew in from LA to do that.
So we had this Asian Prom. It was it was on a February, and we didn't know if you could make it, but you were like, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
You flew in.
Yes.
And drove directly to the Asian Prom. And mind you, did not have a button-up shirt.
Yes.
You were like,
100%.
hey, I need a button-up shirt.
Texting us
Yeah.
30 minutes before the party.
30 minutes
Yeah.
Does
before.
anyone have a
Did.
button-up shirt on them?
On them, yeah, because I realized I'm like, oh, I've bought I'm in New York and I have not brought a button-up shirt. So I texted friend of the pod, Misha Han.
Yes, friend of the pod,
and
Misha Han.
he got me his shirt, which fit, and so it was very nice.
Oh my God.
And then you stayed out and
Yes.
flew right back.
And I went right back to the airport and flew out that morning.
So yeah, we had the prom, and we were out pretty late. You know, I would say most of the people were there until like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We go out and we're like, oh, let's get some food. So we go to like Kellogg Diner.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's like an hour wait or some whatever nonsense. And then a lot of us, oh no. And then you just went back to the airport. I don't even think you took your backpack off the whole time. You just had it on, partying, and you're like, okay, I gotta go.
Like a true Asian, I had my backpack on the entire prom. I was an obstruction on the dance floor. My backpack was half my body weight.
Were you? That was your plan, though, right? You were planning to just do
plan. Yeah.
Is it because you were so busy? Were you like on set somewhere and then you're like, I gotta go, I'll be back in 10 hours and like bounced?
Yeah, because I had to be back on Monday for the project that I was doing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I already took a little time off before, so I just had to like go back as fast as I could. But I really wanted to be an Asian prom.
We're so glad you
happy.
made
Wouldn't
it.
make any sense without it. I love it. I love Asian prom. I hope that it like the energy of it reverberates
exactly
throughout.
A lot of people like met each other there who were working it. And I was like, that's exactly what I wanted to like see that.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be a Netflix documentary about it, Asian prom, and we're all old and shit, and we're like, yeah, what was that Asian prom, blah blah. And then like on the 4th Asian prom, things get really dark.
Yeah.
Somebody like murders their ex-husband and like puts him in the bathroom and like, oh my god, that Asian prom was crazy.
Like someone is interviewed, like, those 3 really got hungry with power. And you could
they
see
got drunk.
it.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
could
It started off as building a community, but by the end, it did end up as a huge scam.
By the end,
We were stealing money from a lot of people.
They don't show me at all until the very end, and it's because I've been in jail and I'm wearing like the orange jumpsuit, and I'm like, I'll do it again. I do it again, okay?
I'll scam those Asians again.
That's terrifying, and that's the energy I want to bring into this. I mean, Dylan, like you just catch up, everybody. What do you were in LA for a little while. Now you're back here.
I was in LA for a little bit for like a TikTok project. It was like Hype House, but sketch comedy.
That's awesome.
I loved
it. It was so
it.
fun. Yeah, I loved being a part of it. I loved everyone who I worked with. I came back like April, and now I'm just back here. Now I'm like just kind of chilling here, like doing like little like jobs here and there.
That's great.
Like trying to make ends meet, but I'm happy to be back in New York in the summer. It's been super. It's been fun.
It's fun and empty, and that's nice.
Yes, the apocalypse. Yeah,
you're gonna be here for a little while.
I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna be here. I think till like at least fall.
Oh, good.
I want to ask you about a couple of things, but first, I realized we got to do the thing where we talk about what kind of Asian.
I know.
Yes,
you know?
Gotta.
Who wants to start?
You go. I don't have anything.
Okay. This week I was a photography Asian.
Oh.
So this is a weird one. Okay. So I've been working and talking to this photographer. His name's Chris Buck, and this is like a very New York thing. I feel that would very much happen on the East Coast, but some years ago, I think at the beginning of the pandemic, me and my wife, we went up to a town called Beacon, which is maybe like 2 hours away, right? It's very pretty and all that stuff. And we're just hanging out, and I'm like eating ice cream, as I do. And this gentleman is there. He's eating ice cream, and we just start talking. And he's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a writer. I'm a comedian, whatever." And what do you do? Oh, he turns out he's a photographer, and whatever. We're just like kind of like shooting the shit. And he follows me on Instagram, and I follow him back, and I realize he's like a legit real photographer. He's photographed like Obama.
Oh,
he's photographed
whoa.
like Jay-Z. He photographs like real, like, Dave Matthews, like all these people. And he's been a photographer.
Obama, Jay-Z, Dave Matthews.
Most importantly.
I had to go through all the major cultural touch points.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the three.
But most importantly, crashing
I follow him, and he's great. And then I DM him, and I'm like, hey, I know I probably can't afford whatever, but I would love to, I just wanted to put my feelers out, like, well, how would it take to do a session with you? And we go back and forth, and he gets to like a number that makes sense to me. I'm like, okay. And it's like a super intense thing. We do this, we decided to do a session, we like plan it out weeks in advance. He comes and visits me, we talk for like hours on like ideas. And so I was like, oh, this is like some real shit. So we did the shoot yesterday. Okay, and it took all day. He like gets in there with in the morning with an assistant, and we have to clear all the furniture out of my apartment. He puts up all these seamlesses. He has like a Subaru full of like gear. He's got like a crazy camera that's like tens of thousands of dollars. He's like shooting, and we have all these shots we want to do, and then we like go around the neighborhood, and of course it's like fucking hot as shit, and we're going around and we're taking pictures, and at some point I realize that I think I started off this thing, I was like, oh, maybe I'll get like a really cool headshot.
Yeah.
And then I realized like, oh, we're not doing that. We're like doing art now.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
He had a thing where like I was smushing he had a bunch of oranges, and I was smushing them up against the wall with my own body. And it was like, I was like pressed up on there.
Wow.
And it was so...
So I thought this was like a wholesome family shoot. Did it just become an individual Mike art shoot?
No. So, well, I mean, I did ask him. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if you could shoot, my son as well. And we did. We did like do a thing with him and me. And that wasn't so weird. It wasn't like we were smushing the baby up against the wall or something like that. That would be pretty intense. That was like, I guess, quote unquote, more straightforward. Yeah. Although like there's like a fun thing we do in it. But I think, I don't know. I think sometimes the whole thing, I was reflecting on it while I was smushing these oranges up against the wall in the middle of the park in Bed-Stuy. And I was like, oh, I don't. At some point, I've slipped out of, comedy, funny photo, although it is kind of a funny photo, and into just like this weird gray art area where like I don't even know. And then I'm like, yo, I'm a CPA Asian, man. What am I doing here?
Right.
Yeah. And I think about that all the time in comedy, what I'm doing, hanging out with you guys. and then I'm here, and I'm like, how did this happen? Where did I make some wrong turns?
Right.
And I'm doing this weird thing, and it was amazing. It was so cool. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys have done like really kind of funky photography stuff.
No.
But the more in pain you are physically, the better the photo seems to be. The more contorted you are, right? Like at one point, he had me like leaning up against his wall, and I was like trying to get up from leaning on the wall. And it hurt, and he's like, stay right there, and he like took like 5 more pictures.
What?
And it was just like, it was, anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it was just like such an interesting like freeze frame on me right there. How did I, and then voiceover.
Yeah.
You may be wondering how I got myself into this situation.
Exactly.
I don't know. That was me. I was a photographer.
Were you embarrassed? Because I feel like I'm generally embarrassed whenever anyone takes a picture of me. So I feel like that especially, I would be really in my head.
Okay, so that's another thing. So, I feel sometimes as a stand-up, I'm not embarrassed with anything. That's almost my superpower, is that I cannot be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And B, I really think I'm very narcissistic. And I was doing this, and I was like taking those pictures, and I was like, it's real bad that I'm a narcissist, but I guess it's good that I'm aware that I am. He said this one thing. He said something to me where he was like, yeah, we're gonna like, he took up some pictures, and then just like a test, and he was like sitting there, and because he has a laptop that is like showing the photos in real time. And he's like, oh, I like this. This is very pretty. And I was like, I've never heard anyone say my name and pretty in even like the same paragraph. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Usually, if there's the word pretty and my name, that people will like double space and indent to make sure it's not in the same paragraph. You know, I'm not, you know, like it's just it's a weird thing. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but this is who I am. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
I love that.
I love it.
It sounds like you went on a spiritual
Yes.
journey.
It was.
A little bit. I love that.
Maybe
actually.
like it brought out a different part of you.
Yeah. I would love to see those photos.
I know.
Actually,
I can't wait.
He's working on them, and I think they should be coming out soon. And that was another thing. Like I don't know how to showcase them because it's like I can't do this whole crazy thing. And then here's my little Instagram post, and it's like 4 inches wide. You know, so like I don't know. You know, it's just it was. The action of making it, I thought, was such an interesting meditation.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
I don't
so
know if you
cool.
ever, but yeah, do you think if you were like taking I don't mind taking photos of, okay, and I'm a narcissist, but like are you
I mean, when I was getting my
self-conscious?
headshots taken, I didn't know what I was doing. I kept being like, what am I doing? And he's like, I don't know, just like smile like a normal person. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
Like I've become so acutely aware of my body, and I'm like, what am I doing? How do I kind of be a person?
Yes.
And also, most of my photos, my eyes are closed. I just like can't keep my eyes open when there's a flash. He's like, if you could just keep your eyes open a little bit longer.
It's just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, how about you?
It depends because if I am like out on the street and someone's taking my photo and I have to I like to like sometimes strike a pose, but then sometimes people walk by like, who the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is? And I'm like,
are you always taking photos in front of subway workers? Is that what's happening? What is that?
I'm always taking in front of Fight Eye. I don't know what. No, but I do like to. I try to find the balance between like being funny in my photos because I sometimes when I'm posing there's like a like funny, but it's also like I do want to look good too.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm trying to find like that. But I would. It sounds so interesting because I just fluctuate between like I want to look good and then like funny.
Yes.
But like to like this is an art piece. I'm
Right.
smashing oranges. I am Mitski. Like
Yes.
I want to experience that. I've never done that.
I know.
Jenny, what kind of Asian were you this week?
Okay, I was kind of like a grateful Asian, but
Okay.
I've realized I'm going to segue this into a specific conversation. So I, this week, I don't know, obviously I'm constantly saying I'm spiraling. This week, I feel like I was more grounded. Like I feel like more clear and like, I don't know, like more like settled in my life. But I think I had this moment where I was like, wow, I built a life in New York. I don't know if you ever have those moments where you like just like pause and you think about the fact that you have like friends and plans and things to do and you're like happy.
Yes.
And I just had a moment where I was like, I like moved here without knowing very many people. And I started doing comedy and now I have friends.
Whoa.
And like people to spend time with. And that was just like a moment where I was like I went to the Mets game last minute on Tuesday because my friend invited me. And then I have a friend who works at the Mets and he upgraded our seats. And I was like, I have connections.
Oh my god!
Like I just like and then I left the game early because didn't want to be there anymore. And I was just like, I just like am living life. Like I'm settled here. I have a full life.
Whoa!
I have people. I don't know. I just like felt very like good. Okay, but here's the topic I actually want to talk about. So yesterday, also friend of the pod, I hung out with Brian Park. We were like writing together, and
Brian Park.
Brian Park.
Brian
Park.
Brian
Feeling
Park.
Asian.
Brian Park of Feeling Asian. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's cool.
And
I've been noticing he's been putting more stuff out on which I'm loving.
yes.
Oh, same.
You know? Yeah.
Yes, we love. And so we were talking, I don't know if I'm like blowing up his spot, but whatever.
Whatever.
And so we were talking about being funny as a man versus being funny as a woman.
Oh.
Okay.
Shit.
And so I just want to lightly touch on the topic just to get thoughts. But I was like, I mean, also granted, Brian is a very attractive man, so I think it's like a different
it's being
experience.
funny as an attractive man versus being funny.
Yes, but I see this in general. My straight male friends, I'm not going to include kind of like, because I think but I'm talking just like the straight dudes who do comedy.
Sure.
The second you do comedy, it's like it's like not a hindrance to them in dating or like in anything. Like it's like people approach you. It's like a good thing for you to be a funny guy. You know, it's like a plus. And I was saying, I feel like sometimes it hurts me being a funny person because, like, as a woman, like it doesn't benefit me in the same way that it does benefit a man. Either it's like too scary, like, you know, men want to be as funny as you, or like feels like some kind of way if I'm getting more laughs.
Yes.
I also give everyone laughs because I don't want anyone to feel bad.
I'm
always like, even if it's not funny, I'm like, good for you.
You were
sir.
laughing. You laughed like a claymation.
Yeah,
just
I did.
Now.
That was a very.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just talked about that for a long time because I was like, your experience as a funny man is very different than my experience as a funny lady.
And do you mean funny, like professionally funny? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or do you mean
like,
just like even like normal funny?
I would say more, I guess, comedy. Like actually, actively, structurally trying to do comedy.
Yeah.
Is like much better for a dude than it is for a woman.
Gotcha. I mean, Ali Wong talks about how.
I know. So I watched part of the special afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is 100% accurate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't even comedy. This is just fact.
Yeah.
It's just a TED Talk.
TED Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a leopard dress on.
Yeah. Anyways, we really talked about that for a long time, and just hearing his experience, I was like, what the heck?
What did he say that it was? Because he was saying that it was just like dating is like, it's like whatever, it's like fine. And I was like, because I struggle finding people who I find interesting. Or like, and then if they're funny, then they probably are dating hot people. Like if you're a successful enough comedian, then you're probably dating a hot person. Whereas like I want to date, like I don't care about hot. I want to date someone who's funny and funny. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
I've just been thinking about that for the past 24 hours.
But you wouldn't want to date a comedian.
I mean, I think if you, I always say I would date a writer, but not a comedian,
right.
Not a comedic act.
How about a funny CPA?
I would love a funny CPA.
Funny CPA.
If you're a funny CPA, please reach out.
Wow. I
but put that in the DM so I know.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like Brian Kim CPA.
CPA, and I'll be like, okay, welcome.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good joke.
Open up the DMs.
Dylan, what do you think?
I think everything you're saying is totally accurate, you know. And I also feel, I don't know if this is entirely true, but in the gay male community, I think being a comedian is a plus.
It is?
Yeah.
I've seen gay male comedians, my friends, because like some like are like very like, some like are pretty well known in like the community, and then like when they enter a space, people like the gays like kind of already know them and they're like, oh my god, it's like, so to maybe like I don't think like it's a different kind of thing, because it's not like maybe like for like straight cis men, if you're like, it's it might be a bigger job, but like in the, at least like the queer scene, it's like you're at least like people might know of. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about like your Bowen Yangs or like oh my God, sorry. I have COVID. No, but I think just like Bowen Yangs or Joel Kim Booster, like, you know, those, like when I've seen like in spaces, like people are like, oh my God, they're here. Oh my God, they're here.
Right.
So it's like that added like a little excitement, like, oh my God, I want it. So
totally.
I think it helps a little.
I think I can see that help.
Yeah.
Help. Whereas like for like an Ali Wong, I think everyone's like, oh my God, but I don't think anyone's like, I want to date that person.
Right. I could see.
It's like more like scary.
Right. I can see a lot of dudes being like, and I use the word dudes for straight cis men because it's just such a dude word. So it's like yeah, exactly. Duh, bruh.
Yeah.
Keto, you know, that's the guy.
guy.
I could see them either being intimidated in a way. They wouldn't say it that way.
Right,
They wouldn't say
I'm
not intimidated, but they would be like, you think you're funny?
Yeah.
Well, have you seen what I can do with a pool cue? You know, it's like, dude, ask Brad and Tai, dude. They think I'm fucking hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's like they would like even do another even more toxic thing where it's like I'm more successful than you are. You know what I'm saying? Where,
exactly.
you know, like
or
this is
less generous with laughs. I've had a couple of those dates where I'm like, okay, I'm being hilarious right now.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God.
Laugh.
I know. I can't date someone who doesn't think I'm funny. I'm like,
Same.
whoa.
It's so important.
It's so important.
Unfortunately,
I can't.
so important.
It's so important.
It holds my family together. My wife and I. I mean, it's like the best thing ever. First of all, I think she's hilarious.
Right.
She has like this really crazy, ultimately dry wit. Mm-hmm. She's very much like, you guys ever watch Downton Abbey?
Yes.
You know the Dowager Countess? You
No.
know where? Okay.
No.
It's Maggie Smith's character.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm not calling my wife Maggie Smith, okay? Although Maggie Smith's a
Maggie
babe, so
Smith,
fuck you,
yeah.
man. Whatever, she's hot.
Yes, R.I.P.
Is she dead?
Is she?
I
No,
don't
sorry.
think
I'm thinking of someone. I'm thinking of
I just had a moment
Professor
where I was like,
McGonagall.
Yeah, that's the same person.
she's alive.
She's alive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's,
Oh, I hope she's alive.
No,
My
I think
God.
she is. I think she
She's
is.
alive. Sorry.
She has so in Downton Abbey, she has like these amazing one-liners, and so I feel we have that. And then also, I mean, of course, I'm a comedian. She like laughs at all my jokes to the point where she like hates it. She
Yeah.
hates that because like if she's upset at me, I can make her laugh, and she's like, "I'm still mad at you. That's not okay. Stop
Wait,
making me
that's
laugh."
so sweet, though.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's really
Yeah.
But
sweet.
I think it's like you need to have that because that like humor stays fresh.
Yeah.
You know, it
mhm.
doesn't like, you know, if you like that person's humor, then it just stays fresh.
Exactly.
Totally.
Versus like other things, you know, in your life or whatever.
Agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Sorry, I fully took us on a route.
No,
that
I
had
love
nothing to do
it.
with
This
my
is
I
week.
like to
this
talk
is-
about that.
This
It's
is the
interesting.
podcast. This
That's
is
right.
what we do. Asian
Yeah.
people doing
Talk.
whatever the fuck we want.
Whatever the fuck we want.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Burnout can look like a lot of things. For me, it meant I just didn't give a crap about my life or my work anymore. All the stuff that was important to me, I found to be annoying. I was mean to people. I was mean to my friends. I was mean to my family. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't working in the right way. And I realized I needed to prioritize myself. So I went and I got some help. I went to therapy. I talked to professionals. And they gave me the tools I need to take care of myself and the people I love. It's stuff that I still use every single day to this day. BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to talk to anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in just 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Asian. That's BETTERHELP.com/Asian. I started taking athletic greens because I wanted a simple, easy way to take care of myself. Something that I could do to get my day off on the right foot. And so every day I wake up, I change my son's diaper, I kiss my wife, I work out, and then I have one scoop of AG1. It's super easy to prepare and drink. It's vegan, keto friendly, and dairy free. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews, and it costs you less than $3 a day. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the cold and flu season. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Asian not Asian. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Asian not Asian to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Dylan, what kind of Asian were you this week?
So I was unfortunately a unwell, sick, memory loss, fatigued, COVID. I've been swallowing mucus this entire time, quietly.
Haven't been able to tell at all.
Thank you.
Quietly.
I've been trying really hard, but like I don't have. I was on Fire Island 3 weeks ago, which was so fun. But
That's
some
amazing.
gay gave me COVID.
Some
I don't
gay
know
gave
who.
me-
Now I had it, and it was really rough for me, and now I have that COVID brain fog where it's hard to
Yeah.
focus. So I've been like an unfocused, distracted Asian.
Has it been hard for you to do shows?
Yes.
Yeah?
I literally 3 days ago I was doing a show and I almost completely lost it.
Oh my God,
laughing.
yeah.
Like a nervous kind of laughter, like thinking of how ridiculous it was that I was on stage trying to make people laugh.
Yes.
Like I was laughing at the absurdity of
Yeah.
that, and no one was laughing at
Right.
that. Like I was
Right.
laughing and no one was
Right,
on
nobody
board with
else is
that. And I'm
laughing.
like, wait, it's so funny
Yeah.
that like I'm doing this forever. Like I was having, it
Right.
was crazy. So yeah.
I like the idea of COVID giving you incredible self-awareness. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's like,
Yes.
oh my God, now I'm a comedian. Ah!
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
How was Fire Island?
I know, I need
though?
to hear about
I wanna
Fire
know, 'cause
Island.
That's
Oh
like
my God.
that's like a cultural touch
Yeah.
point now.
Yes.
Yes, it is a cultural touch point. It was my.
Is that why you're so tan?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I was
it
gonna say,
is.
you look great.
Dylan looks really
You
tan.
look amazing.
I got a
You're
spray
sick as
tan
a
there.
dog,
No,
but
just
yeah.
kidding. Sick. But I got to Fire. It was my first time going to Fire Island, and the night we get there, we saw Fire Island the movie. There, it was
What?
so
Fuck off.
fucking good.
So
it was so
sweet.
good. I cried. I laughed. I loved the cast. I loved the writing. I thought it was brilliant. And then the day after, Joel Kim Booster, Bowen
Oh,
Yang, Matt Rock,
shit.
Tomas,
No
the literal cast
way.
shows up at our house, and it's
Incredible.
like, let's party. I'm like, this is a dream. Are you fucking kidding me?
I cannot believe that.
I know. So it was just such a fun because they knew people in our house that
Yeah.
their friends with. So like we just like partied it up, and they were so nice, and like we
That's
talked,
awesome. That's
and
awesome.
like they were like super sweet, and it was just like I tried ketamine for the
Oh,
first
wow.
time.
Okay.
I was
Oh,
a ketamine
shit.
Asian.
Okay, there you go.
Horse tranquilizer Asian, and I will say I love it.
How was it?
Oh,
Really?
did you have
Yeah.
fun?
Oh my
good.
God.
It's fun. So it was just so much fun, and Jess, Tom, and I were there.
Yeah.
It was so because we like saw Fire Island, which is a movie about like these Asian
Yeah.
Yeah,
queers
whoa.
exploring identity, and we were there like doing the same thing. It was our first time, and it's like we were like living the movie.
Oh my God.
Like meeting the literal cast and
Yeah.
like going. So it was just like a surreal.
Yo, that's a trip, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
You guys ever seen that scene in Spaceballs where they watch their own movie?
Yes.
You guys know what I'm talking about? They
Yes.
like
I
fast
haven't
forward to
seen so one,
themselves.
yeah.
And they're like looking. Anyways, that was you.
Yes.
Yes, I
Exactly.
just
Yeah,
had to
how meta.
Meta.
It's so meta. And I mean, it's a good thing you didn't do shrooms because I would have just been focused on the fact that am I in the
Yeah.
movie? Where does the movie end and I begin?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
The
right?
thing
Like
is-
the people are there.
Yes,
So
yes.
by definition, this is the movie.
Yes.
And now we're on like a weird side plot where you go on a podcast to talk about it.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you feel different? Like, do you feel like you've changed?
I know it sounds corny, but yes, I think I have
Wait,
changed.
that's-
How so?
there you
Tell me
go.
more.
Yeah.
Because like before Fire Island, I wasn't really like doing a lot of like. I wasn't like going to like gay circuit parties, or I wasn't doing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, what
And
is that?
Like gay, like that's like kind of like a party at a club, but it's like it's like a big party and a lot of people are going.
Sure.
And a lot of gays will do it, and a lot of gays like to go to partying club and like do like ketamine and all that stuff, and like, but I was like, not for me. I'm like,
Sure.
But I was with a group of people who are really trusted.
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
I was
yeah.
exploring that stuff. So I was like, well, why don't I try out this stuff? And why
Yeah.
don't I like go to these parties and like try out like
Whoa.
meeting guys and whatever. And it was like, it kind of opened up like a little like world for me that I didn't know
Wow.
existed.
Yes.
And me and Jess, Fire Island is extremely white.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we were like there to like I had Jess there to like
Yes.
kind of like we were like in this space
partners,
together.
yeah.
And like sometimes when we felt like oh my like eye roll moments and like
Yes.
we had like we were there together to
Yeah.
like experience it.
That's
as
why
like
you always need your crew, man.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But also, really is Fire Island the movie.
You were- yeah,
That's
it's
the other part that I'm like,
literally,
what?
like literally,
Yeah.
like we would go home and talk about our experiences. Like, oh my god, it was crazy, and then it did this, and it's like, but I don't think I'm gonna talk to them again. It's like, yeah, it was. So it was, yeah. It was,
So
How does it work in because you were talking about like the house, right? Like
Yeah.
is that so, I'm just a good old regular CPA Asian. I don't know any of this stuff. When I go to the beach, I got my igloo and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's fine for me.
Yeah.
So I would love to because I have I been to, yes, I have been to Fire Island, but I was like I was just like right when the ferry gets off before it gets like I guess there's several stops.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
on like one of the earlier ones
Oh,
because they were
wow.
like, oh, you can just go to this one, and we didn't even stay on the island because it was like too crazy. It was like
Yeah.
too packed. And I also think we went at like an off time. This is before my son was born, and we stayed in like this. We stayed on Long Island itself. And it was beautiful and it was
Yeah.
great, but it was very chill.
Yeah.
And I was like very curious about like how it is. It's Fire Island is like it's like a barrier island, right? So it's like
Yeah.
it's remote even for where it is on Long Island. So you got to take the
Yeah.
train out there, and then you got to take a fucking ferry
Yeah.
from the main island, from Long Island to
Yes.
Fire Island.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear like what is it? How does that work? Do you guys all get on like Airbnb and like figure this out? And
Yeah.
who's bringing the ketamine? You know, like
Exactly.
what's going on?
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, my friend Ryan Leach organized this house. He rented this house for like 3 months.
Oh shit!
And he books it for different weeks. So he asked around, and he asked me, Jess, a bunch of other like people to stay in the house
Sure.
for this week. And so that's how we got into.
Whoa.
That's how we got the house. He reached out to me, and honestly, I was like, like sure. But that's how it happens. Like you book a house with a group of friends for a week or maybe multiple weeks.
Oh shit!
But then like he was very organized. He was like, okay, who wants to bring Molly, the ketamine,
Right.
who's gonna cook
Project
dinner this night?
manage the drugs, the food, everything.
He really like Google project managed. There was a spreadsheet.
There's a
for
spreadsheet,
Molly.
yeah. And you click on it, and there's like drop down like data verification.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you're
Exactly.
like Molly. So is he there the whole time, kind of being like a house mother?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He was.
Okay.
He was organizing like the kind of what we were gonna do. And it was like he was very organized and in that way. And I don't know if it's usually the case like that. He just happened to be, but he did all that work. And
amazing.
it was so fun.
Dylan, I don't know why I'm going to sound like a mother, but I'm like, I'm really proud of you for getting out there and doing it. Like, really, when you just share that, I was like, that makes me very, like, happy that you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it. You're exploring.
It was fun.
And having the time of your life.
It was fun.
I have a thing I wanted to talk to you about, but then also, is it possible for a CPA Asian like myself I would just cook, you know? Would that be okay? You know what I'm saying? Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Or is it,
Yes.
because I'm not trying to get up in anyone's space. I know you guys go do your thing. You have a lot of data-driven Molly to do, okay?
Yes.
Okay, but you know, hey, I'm a great cook. You know, just give me a bunch of Modelos and I'm good.
I'm
you know?
gonna say the one thing a bunch of gays on ketamine and Molly in a house need is a good cook. Someone who will do the cooking, and that is a high commodity on the island.
Yes, you know, like in the westerns, they always got that big old fat cook who's like, "Come on, get it!" That's me. I'm like, "Come on, get it, boys!"
Get it.
You know, I got the stain thing, you know, the stained apron, and it's steaks every day.
You're
Yes.
gonna be like, "That's Mike. He's our straight chef. We love him.
Don't you
He's
be
like our
messing with my
dad.
queens. You understand?
He's from the south
Yeah.
somehow." Yeah.
He's from the south of California.
South of California. Did we hear about that tweet that went around about it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
About the Bechdel test.
Yes, the Bechdel test. I'm
How
trying to
could
find
we?
it. Does
Test.
someone have it?
I think she deleted it.
I
She
did. I'm
deleted
sure
it.
that there's a
She
screenshot
deleted
somewhere.
it, but I know. I remember when that.
The spirit of it.
Yes.
Yes.
So and basically what happened is somebody had. This is Oh, here we go. Fire Island gets an F- on the Bechdel test, which is in a whole new way. And for people who don't know what the Bechdel test is, it's a way. It's kind of, I don't know how to describe the Bechdel test. It's
Like to measure the way that like women are portrayed
in a
media.
movie, right? So, do we just ignore the drab lesbian stereotypes because cute gay Asian boys? Is this revenge for all those years of the gay boy best friend? And this went around, and I wanted to hear what we had to say about it. Don't you be messing with my queens!
Absolutely ratioed to death to the point where
yes.
she deleted
Yeah,
that
ratio
tweet.
ratio
to
to death.
Yes.
I mean, it's so nonsensical. I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, I really thought it was a joke. I really thought it was a joke because I was like, what are you talking about? This is a story about like two Asian gay men, like kind of telling a story that really is never told.
Yeah.
And so it was wild to have that take where I was like, but I'm kind of not in it. Like a white woman or whatever being like, but what about me? You know? Like, that's actually not okay. Like, that was really, really hilarious to me.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I fully I agree with that sentiment. I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, yes. I'm sorry that you didn't feel like your story was told in this gay Asian movie, but you have a lot of other ones that you can check out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Maybe you'll get on the spreadsheet next time.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
All right, let's just take it easy. Okay, this is good. I love this. Okay, so we're having a great time. We're talking about data-driven drugs here on the podcast. And I just got a new summer job as the straight cook.
Yes, congratulations on booking.
Thank you.
Yes.
Such a difficult thing to book. I needed to start doing more burpees because I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the things. So, we're now going to start taking some of our voicemails here. And we love hearing voicemails. We've been getting a steady stream of them. If you want to leave voicemail, we just want to hear what kind of Asian were you this week. It could be anything, okay? It could be, photography Asian. It could be spiraling Asian. Okay. It could be ketamine Asian. That's cool too. All those things are completely valid. If you want to leave us a voicemail, it's 646-809-7231. 646-809-7231. We love hearing your voices. So let's get into it. We got 2. So let's do this one real quick.
Hey, Asian, not Asian. My name is Neil. And I guess I was a code switch short circuit Asian in the last couple of weeks. And first, before I begin, just want to thank you guys for doing an awesome season 2. I think Jenny is great. Keep up the good work. Mike, you're awesome too. Still awesome. So, just a little context. I code switch a lot at work. I work with as an engineer in kind of a white collar role. Still kind of confusing to me because, I didn't grow up with a whole lot of privilege, being having immigrant parents. Didn't know a whole lot how the salaried office work kind of goes. And I usually will go into these manufacturing plants to go in and do projects. And these environments are, a lot of blue collar folks. And so, my parents are kind of blue collar folks working in factories as well. So I felt like I could do this code switching really well. But kind of the interesting thing is that this plant has a lot of Asian people, actually, and quite a few Lao people. And that's my background. I'm Lao. My parents came from Laos. And so, it's really strange. What happened was I had to cut some tubing, some cabling for some automotive parts. And I see this old man, he's looking on his phone on his break. I'm like, hey, I'm saying it in English, like, oh, do you have any scissors? And he looks up at me, just didn't give a shit. I was like, no, I shook his head. And then I thought for a second, and I was like, maybe he's Lao. And so I go up to him, and I say it loud. I'm like, oh, jumping con Lao ball, which is in Laos is, oh, are you Lao? And he hey, this is Neil again. I think that voice will cut out. Maybe the story was too long. But you know what? I'm going to call back. Keep going. I want to. So, one last voicemail. I asked this guy in Lao, oh, are you Lao? And he perks up and he's like, huh? Oh, yeah, just a second. And he says it in Lao. He's like, oh, what? So he goes and he grabs a scissor and he grabs it for me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, sweet. Just use my language, able to code switch into talking to my parents. He got the scissors, we got the small talk, just kind of laughing, learning about him, small talk. And that was a hilarious story. It was awesome. It's I felt so good. I was able to use my my Lao language at work. And I decided to tell somebody at work, some other kind of a blue collar guy at the plant. And I told him the story. He laughs, thinks it's hilarious. But then he just goes, shithead. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Yeah, like laughing nervously. And I'm thinking like, man, that came out kind of strong. So I'm like, just kind of had this weird moment. I was just like, wait a minute. Was it kind of an asshole thing to do? Like, if I was just like white facing and like just like an office worker, did that and I didn't know any better, and like he didn't help me, like, it would be an asshole move, right? But being loud, like, I feel like it's kind of hilarious to be able to get help. I tell my parents this, and their first impression was like, yeah, it's hilarious, but they asked me like, oh, why did he do that? I was like, oh, yeah, I guess maybe he's an asshole. I asked my aunt, same thing, like, yeah, that's hilarious, but he's an asshole. But I don't know, that's why I like telling the story, I guess, because like all this like different code switching between like looking at it from like a office worker standpoint or like looking at it from a child of immigrant standpoint. I'm not sure, like.
That's it. This guy talked a lot. Okay, so let's recap there. So he's an engineer. He's at a plant, and he is Lao, and he goes to the plant, and there's a worker there, and he asks the worker for something, and at first doesn't get it, but then later on, he connects with this person. They're both Lao, and then the guy helps him out, and I think this guy's kind of this is very textured. It's got we're talking about class, we're talking about maybe different generations, we're talking about different, Asian things happening. I don't know, I think it's a little complicated, what do we think?
And then at the end, what was the shithead thing?
Yeah.
I think basically he was like getting, he was telling the story to different people, and different people were saying, oh, that was kind of a shitty thing to do. Right, so because maybe that guy was supposed to help you anyways. You know what I'm saying? Even if you weren't Lao. Right, so I think that's what the guy was saying. Yeah. So I think it was like, did it matter that guy was? What if that guy wasn't Lao? Would the guy not help him?
I see.
Yeah. But he was Lao, and it worked out.
Right.
So I think it's kind of open ended.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do we think?
Interesting.
Yeah. This is very different from Fire Island conversation, by the way. We're suddenly in a factory talking about tubing.
Yeah, and code switching.
Very different energy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I understand the conversation about code switching for sure.
Yeah.
Though I feel like I was ingrained in me very young to like almost like be, I don't know, align myself to white people.
Yeah.
So I think that like it was a lot of my learnings maybe are older in life,
sure.
like unlearning that and like being comfortable with who I am and all that stuff and etc. But I do think, especially because I've never worked in a factory,
asking for tubing.
Asking for tubing. I think that's like especially a different environment, like a blue collar environment where there's like once again like there's a different layer of like class and all of that stuff. So I think like I don't know. I don't think that I think it just like worked out that you speak the same language. I think that all the time. Like one time like I got lost in like Europe and I found my way because I ran into a Japanese restaurant and I can't speak French, but I spoke to them in Japanese, like the restaurant people, and they helped me out. And that was a moment where I was like, this is just like a nice benefit of being bilingual. And like finding your people in other places of the world where like they don't speak English, but they speak Japanese or like whatever. So I don't know. I
think you hit it on something, because I was trying to think about it from the point of view that this older guy who's cutting tubing all the time. And maybe he has like a shitty time all the time where people are like coming up and bothering him, and these white collar guys from the office are coming in and like kind of, I don't know if disrespecting is the word, but just kind of not treating him with respect, and then he gets to connect with somebody. So I think from the other way, I think it's always, listen, if this guy's job is to cut tubing, this guy's a badass. All right, so I give him props. He's busy. Okay, he can't be cutting tubing for you all the time. Okay, and so he was doing you a solid, and I think it was cool that you guys got to connect with this older dude. I'd rather align with this old. I'm imagining in my mind he's like a gnarled like old guy, versus like versus aligning with like the front office guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Dylan, do you ever have to like code switch in like all these different spaces? Because I feel you go into different spaces all the
Yeah.
time. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yes, a
Okay.
little bit. Yes. When it comes to like Asian identity or just like queer identity, yes.
Mm.
And I do think. Also, yeah, I'm team him.
Yeah,
I'm team
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm imagining Mao Ji-chan like
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But I think I do code switch, and that is actually something that, like, when I was on Fire Island, I was by the third day dead and tired
yeah.
and needed to sleep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But then, like, everyone was like, "We're going out to do Molly again," and I'm like, "Well, so am I." There's like I have to like pump up my energy, like
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, like that. And then there's like code switching around, like white people too, or like straight
Right.
people
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But there's like code switching also within like everywhere to like match energies and
The energy in
Um,
here, for example. You know?
what?
The energy in here, for example.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I am like my voice is so straight and
It's
low.
so straight and low.
Like
I was gonna say.
I'm gay, by the way. I feel like I
Yeah.
need to clarify to
Right.
the listeners.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll put a little banner underneath.
Thank you.
Gay.
Because people might think I'm like Randall Park right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people say.
yeah.
Asian Jim is here. Yeah, you're giving me such straight,
Yeah.
paper salesman vibes
I
right
People
know.
come
now.
up to me like, "Were you in WandaVision?" I'm like, "No, I was not. Get away."
Look, I love it. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I had a thought this week when I went to the Mets game.
Yeah.
When I went to the game, I was by myself and I was like meeting people at the seats, and like it's like a baseball game in Queens. Like all the people there are like kind
Yeah.
of old
Yeah.
school type, whatever. And so I was walking through the entrance, and the security guy was this older white guy, and he sees me, he's like, "Well, you're very smiley. Like you look like you're in a great mood." And I was just existing. Like I just was. But then I noticed I smile a lot,
Yes.
and I think it is a learned behavior.
Oh shit.
To like seem very like, what do you call it? Like non.
Yeah.
Friendly,
Friendly,
cheery.
like
Look at me, I'm not a
cheery,
threat.
like I'm not
Yeah.
threatening, I'm not different. Like I'm,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I go out of my way when I'm at home. I notice when I go on walks, like because there are a lot of white people, I go out of my way to wave.
Oh, you do?
I do. I noticed that like at a one period because everyone kind of does that, and
Oh.
in New York, no one does that.
Right,
So
no,
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
used to that. And then I like was walking one time. Someone got kind of like hello, like near me, and then like this older like couple and like waved at me, and I was like, oh, I have to do that to like be like I'm
This is in Brooklyn?
non-threatening. No, this is in California.
Oh, in California.
Yeah.
To be like,
Yeah.
hi neighbor, like the act
Yeah.
of being like, hi neighbor, like to be like warm and whatever. So like
Ugh.
I think I just do that,
Yeah.
and it is a
Yeah.
learned behavior.
Totally.
Dang. I think that's
So that is code switching.
Totally.
That is me being like,
Yeah.
I'm not an outsider. I'm actually I'm like one of you. kind of
Yes.
Yeah.
things.
I'm signaling that I
Yes.
belong here
Exactly.
or whatever. Yeah, I think to bring it back to the old grizzled dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he's tired of doing that shit.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
gotta be smiling at these people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I want to
trying
be
to-
that.
Yeah, me too. You know what? I was like a thought I had that I just realized when I was doing the Asian Not Asian show
Yeah.
and like Asian audiences
Yeah.
or like POC audiences, I can really do my material where I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
angry at white people
Yeah.
and shitting and like really like talking about like racist white gays and like
Yes.
terrible
Yeah.
experiences I've had, and those jokes, like some of my favorite ones, they'll like hit.
Yeah, they hit
Yeah.
hard.
But when I'm in like doing other shows and like then I'm like, oh wait, everyone's getting uncomfortable and like
Yeah.
and so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I have
Yeah.
to save these jokes for like when
Yeah.
I'm doing like Asian Not Asian
Right.
at Union
Exactly.
Hall.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Yeah. I think that there is that. There is that. We can kind of let loose a little bit when it
Yeah.
comes to, being with our people.
Right.
Totally.
Right. I think that's
Totally.
super important. We need to have you back on the show soon.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was
So you
much
can
fun.
so you can just start laughing. Even you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we will laugh along with you. And I
Oh
think
my
that'd
God.
be beautiful.
Yes.
It's true.
This was my ploy to get booked. I'm like,
Yeah.
when I was on your amazing show,
and honestly, it worked.
It only took you an hour of your day. All right, let's do another one. This one's short and like fun. I guess. Hold on here.
Hi. This week I was a hot Asian, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Hot because it's 95 degrees in New York and I'm sweating without an AC in my room. Hot because I'm looking fine. And hot because I'm taking a lot of space for myself emotionally and mentally, and finally setting boundaries with white people. So, hell fucking yeah.
That's so good. I need to do that.
Wow. I don't know who this person is, but you are my spirit animal for the summer.
Oh my God,
Hot
seriously.
Asian. Physically hot, as in I'm sweating. Hot looking good. Hot taking care of yourself, setting boundaries.
Yeah.
All right, just being like, yo, just chill.
Totally.
Okay? I love that. That's what I
love.
need.
Let me just say that I went through my boundary moment in 2020.
I love that.
And I
Yeah.
will say I feel so much hotter. I've gotten hotter since.
What was your boundary moment?
Well, I had a kind of a big friend breakup because of race.
yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
I was working on becoming like my own person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like centering myself.
Yes.
And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like knowing who I am and what my values are. And if like something didn't align with those, I was going to start speaking up. That was like a
Yeah.
decision I made. And that like lost my like 3 very close friends. Like they just stopped
shit.
talking to me after
Damn.
that because
What?
Yeah.
they thought I was calling them bad people for me being like standing up for myself.
Whoa.
Which was like a big moment, but the boundary setting was huge because after that I like started living my life. I
Yeah.
started wearing stuff I wanted to wear.
What, you didn't wear what you didn't want to wear before?
No, before I was like, I don't know, I was just like didn't know who I was. And
What
then
the
I
fuck?
like really developed like a
You
sense
didn't have
of
these
self.
amazing blouses
I
and
know,
stuff?
can you like
Yeah.
Sunday school?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, my
Oh,
Sunday school
nice.
vaccine shirt.
Oh, shit. Oh, it doesn't.
It's like, yeah.
That's
Just like I started making videos. I like dyed my hair platinum blonde.
Yes,
like
I
I
did.
just started living life.
Wow.
And it was the best. So for this person,
Yes.
we were like going through very
I
similar journeys.
love
Love
that.
it.
Hot Asian.
Yes.
I also love an Asian who's just like, I look hot.
Yes,
today. 'Cause
yes.
I'm like, it's like, yes, say it.
Yeah,
say
exactly.
It. It's like taught to be like, don't say that, be humble.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
But like, oh my God, hell yeah. I loved hearing that.
I know.
I
I
think
love it.
to bring it back to myself as a narcissist. That's what I like. That's what I liked about the photo. It's like
you could
feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I like having somebody thinks you're attractive.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think especially for a CPA straight Asian person, dude,
Yes.
like myself.
Yes.
You know, like to non-toxically have someone think you're attractive
Yeah.
is like so nice. Because usually there's so many times where it's like, bro, I just gotta get huge, you know,
Yeah.
or I have
Yeah.
to be like 6'2" or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
these like things that I think a lot of men don't really care about. It's just like somebody has told us that we were supposed to care about it.
Yeah.
I remember a long time ago when I was more into fashion, my friend was is a fashion photographer. He like wanted to take pictures of me. He's gay, and he took a picture of me when I was like, I wasn't even posing. I was just like kind of like surveying where we could take a shot. And he took this picture, and he showed it to me later. He's like, you look very hot here. And I was like, I had never heard that before. And I think it's important that people hear that they're hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, everyone. I'm talking about everyone. You know, you go and tell your lovely wife. Go and tell your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike, you're hot.
Yeah.
Jenny, you're hot.
Dylan,
Stop,
you're
Dylan.
hot.
You're so hot.
You fucking
Mike,
smoke.
you're
You are
a
hot.
Mike's
Yeah.
also a smoke show.
I agree.
Yo, smoke show. That is the highest compliment.
Yeah, it
A
is.
Yeah.
Smoke show.
But let me
Yeah.
just say, like, I don't know what your journey was with feeling attractive
Yes.
because mine is still happening right now.
Yeah.
But it like really happened late in life. I do
It's-
think because
it's hard
Asian
to
people
do.
also
Same.
weren't talked like that for a long time.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a very recent thing where I'm like, hey, I can be
Right.
attractive and I can be more than like, I think of myself as cute, not attractive. And so I'm
Yeah.
like trying to like
Yes.
break that wall to be like, I'm
Yeah.
also hot.
Yes,
Right. Well, I
true.
think you can also because I think sometimes people, especially Asian women,
Yeah.
they like it's like hot in a very like, you know, white gaze kind of way. Gaze, G-A-Z-E. You know what I'm saying? Like a white guy is observing you
like
and
fetishized
and telling
like,
you that you are hot in a particular way.
Right.
Whereas like if other people, you know, if a Dylan tells you or CPA Asian Mike tells you, that's like a different kind of flavor, you know what I'm saying? So, and then of course you yourself have to tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I think that's like powerful. I think, you know?
It's a whole journey.
Yeah.
It's a whole journey. Okay, let's continue. You're hot, Dylan. You're hot, Jenny.
Wait, I was just saying almost every single one of my conversations with my friends ends with me saying, "You're so hot."
Yeah.
Like it's just like a circle of us telling each other we're
You
hot.
have to.
Every conversation ends that way.
That.
And it's beautiful that it's happening on the podcast now.
I love that. I love that. When I see, you know what, I've been seeing like my whenever like my Asian friends are posting like thirsty or like just like beautiful pictures of themselves, I'm like hot,
Exactly.
yes, fire, yes, more.
Yeah.
We all will be at the house, Fire Island. I will be cooking.
And I'll be the sous chef.
Oh, that's cool. I fucking love it. And Dylan, you'll be coming back from doing Molly again.
Yeah.
And everybody will sit down.
We'll have like a bowl of porridge ready to go. Just like, eat.
Yo, a little kanji would be perfect way to come down off of doing ketamine.
Me and Jess on our last night, we cooked spam musubi for the house.
Oh my god, I love spam
It was so
musubi.
good.
So good.
It was so good. I will say all the white people in the house were like, "This is incredible. Oh my god. You must have taken hours to make this." I'm like, literally, it's so easy, but it
Your
impressed
white
them.
person
Your
voice
white person? So
is
funny.
incredible.
That's amazing.
Thank you. As a
It's
half,
accurate. It's
yeah,
accurate.
as a half
Yeah.
Jewish
You were
white
there.
person, I take from what I know.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing. That was the
So
podcast.
fun.
It is you're listening to the Asian Not Asian podcast, where hot Asians
We're so
Yes.
hot.
tell each other how hot we are. We do hot Asian shit, okay? That's such a cool thing to say. I feel that's a sentence I've never said before. And I love
You
it.
know what? It
Asian
came
shit.
out very naturally. It felt right.
It felt right.
Yes. Dylan, how can thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And tell our fans how can they find you and your hot work.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at DylanAdler_ or Twitter at DylanAdler6 or TikTok at DylanAdler7.
Whoa, yes.
So slang the game.
All right. How about you, Jenny?
You can find me at Jenny Arimoto anywhere.
Anywhere, and you can find me on Instagram at NicePantsBro, and you can follow the podcast at Asian Not Asian Pod. Please check us out on all the different socials, and also we've got another Hack City coming up. I believe it's July 8th. It's a Friday, and tickets will be available in the link description in the link. Whatever. And and I believe that's it. Please just look yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself you're a hottie.
Uh-huh.
You're
That's it.
all hotties.
You're all hot.
All right. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.